But we go to our final matchup of the episode and the final matchup in the Cruise Division to see who's going to the Sweet 16. We have the Club Chase and Shootout from the original John Wick taking on, which got here by beating out the bank robbery from Heat. That's going to take on 2005's King Kong T-Rex's versus King Kong fight, which beat out John Wick 3's Casablanca shootout scene. How did you score this one?
You're going to be the decider. I went 5-5.
I went 7-3 John Wick.
Okay.
So, why were you tied?
I have the same problem with both of the scenes, which you talked about with earlier in when King Kong went up against John Wick 3.
Yeah.
Which was the scene becomes ridiculous when they get into the vines.
Yes.
That's my problem with that scene. I completely agree with you. So and then the John Wick one, as soon as they get, I wouldn't go so far as to say as soon as they get into the nightclub.
Yeah.
But there's a certain point where I just stop caring about people he's killing. Like, I'm just like, he's just killing everyone. Yeah, okay. It's just, at a certain point, you don't need that many faceless henchmen. Like, make killing people mean something, you know?
Sure. That's the first little inkling of what John Wick becomes.
Yeah.
Where it's just set up an army against John Wick and let John Wick mow them down.
Yeah.
Like I said, that scene for John Wick is the establishment of what the character becomes. That's where that scene takes John Wick from, oh, this is a cool character, to, no, this is an action icon.
Mm-hmm.
Which also gives us Keanu Reeves, because Keanu Reeves, frankly, was at the point where no one gave a shit about him. Like, if Keanu Reeves was in a movie for like 10 years, people legitimately said, well, I'm not going to watch that because I know it's going to be bad.
Yeah, definitely a renaissance for him.
And then he does John Wick, and everyone's like, I want to see Keanu Reeves in everything. And it also sets up the popularity to where one of my wife Ab, her favorite tropes in movies is people playing a fictitious version of themselves. And he has a great cameo in Always Be My Maybe, which is one of the few Netflix original movies that I think is actually good. Where he plays
I love that movie.
It's a great movie. And he's, dating Ali Wong, and he's a fictitious, egotistical version of himself, but he still has all the endearing traits of Keanu Reeves, but they're fake in the movie, but they're real in real life. So it's just so fun to get to see that. Yep. And if John Wick doesn't happen, we don't even get that beautiful cameo. So gotta stick with that. But I just even love the shock of, you're dating Keanu Reeves? Like, the fuck?
That's an underrated movie.
It's a very underrated movie. But again, back to John Wick, it's the establishment of an icon. I will save more of my commentary for when it has to go up against Fellowship of the Ring or further matchups. Again, my big thing with King Kong is I don't think there's a single lull in the John Wick scene to take you out. I think once you get in the vines, you are then forced to, as an audience member, to kind of go, it's a gorilla fighting T-Rexes.
I would compare that part of the fight to the part in the Obi-Wan Anakin fight where they start swinging around.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
It goes from this thing where there's a brutal intensity to it, where even though it's flash and pizzazz, there's still meat, there's still steak. It's not just sizzle, and then it just turns straight into sizzle.
Yeah. It's still grounded, literally grounded.
Yeah,
they're on the ground fighting, and now they're just in the air. It becomes ridiculous.
That is it. You bringing up is exactly why I scored it the way I did. I think John Wick is more grounded than another movie. So
yeah, and that is I love watching King Kong beat the shit out of T-Rexes, though.
Oh, I know you do, and that's fine.
It's fucking epic.
So it's fun, and also I gotta say this: my favorite moment is when he beats the final T-Rex and he starts playing with his jaw to make sure he's dead.
Yeah,
That's
Hey,
awesome.
that comes straight from the original 1933 version.
It's
Yeah.
so good. What a
Yep.
great moment. And the CGI looks impeccable in that
Also, a
movie.
little
So,
shout out to Andy Serkis, the mocap performance.
but he mocaps King Kong.
Uh huh.
I didn't know that. Okay,
I'm fairly certain. I'll look it up just to make sure, but I'm
dude,
fairly certain he does.
greatest mocap artist of all time. It's not
It's not
close.
even.
It's not
I was gonna
close, and
say
it's not fair because he's done everything.
the
But
only one that's close is yeah, he did do King Kong.
yeah,
The only one that's close to me is Zoe Saldana. That's the only one that's close.
but that is our final matchup of not only the cruise division, but this episode.